Welcome to Larp Academia. Today we are going to talk about Archer, or more specifically, what you get at 6th level as an Archer. Now, at 4th level, you were able to gain the Suppression Arrow, which is the only arrow you could take for suppression. You can't take multiple of them. At 6, you gain something similar. You gain the Phase Arrow. Now this is your big arrow. This is your arrow that makes you a better Archer than almost anyone else. Now why do I say that? Well, let's say someone's immune to projectiles. Oh, I have protection from projectiles. Or, oh, I'm immune to all wounds from projectiles. Or, oh, I even have magical armor. This arrow says, no, you don't. This arrow bypasses all enchantments and ongoing effects. Now, an important note is that this does not ignore armor or state. So if someone's frozen, you can't affect them. You can't shoot assassins that are insubstantial either, unfortunately, I know. And you aren't able to just ignore armor if someone's wearing it. If someone is wearing chainmail and they're hit, then it still goes to the armor. But if someone is wearing an enchantment, like let's say Stone Skin, where they have 2 points of magical armor everywhere, and that arrow hits them in the chest, they're dead. Doesn't matter if they have points of armor left, they're dead because it ignores enchantments. It also ignores ongoing abilities. Now, this is awesome because there are stupid monks out there who go, Sanctuary, Sanctuary, and then try to block arrows, and you can only normally shoot them from outside of 20 feet. But with this arrow, you can walk up to them and just say, hey, boop, and then they're dead. Just a little pop, and they die. Even within 20 feet, even within 1 foot, as long as you're just preferably a little bit nice about it. There's also makes it so that the ongoing abilities like Monk Block is ignored. So if it hits their weapons, broken. It hits their hands, wounded. This arrow is your anti-cheese arrow and probably the best arrow in your arsenal. So you have to make sure to use it wisely when you shoot it and be careful for when you do. Now, aside from Phase Arrow, Archer gets one other optional ability at 6th level. I know, normally you just get things, but this is an option that you can take, a variant called Sniper. Now what Sniper does is it means you could have unlimited specialty arrows. What does that mean? Well, you know how I said you can only have 1 phase arrow? Well, now you can have a whole quiver full of them. You could have a whole quiver full of these arrows. You don't need to count and choose which ones you want. No, you could just have every specialty arrow. It's pretty awesome, or so you'd think right away. Now with an ability that powerful, there has to be some drawbacks, right? Well, there are 2 main drawbacks. The first one is that you can't carry any normal arrow. And you're thinking, okay, that's fine. Why would I want to carry a normal arrow if I just have a bunch of these? And you'd normally be right, but the other drawback is a bit big. Your arrows are once per life charge times 3 for each arrow. That means after I shoot a pinning arrow, I now have to say the charge incant. Out of battle, I pause to rest. I take some time to catch my breath. The whole charge incant 3 times before you fire another pinning arrow. Now, something that's even more ridiculous about this is that after you fire all your arrows, or when you try to charge something, you can only have 1 arrow charged at a time, which means I fire all my arrows and then I have to choose phase, poison, destruction. Cool. I can only have 1 arrow ready and charged. That means you can't go back to a bard friend and be like, hey, charge up my arrows, cool. And then you run back and you have all your arrows charged. No, no, no. You have to have someone constantly there to help you in order to keep the charges up. Otherwise, you have to shoot, say the charge incant, and then shoot again. Now, to give you an idea of how this would work, it's like this. Let's say I shoot my first phase arrow. Hand off the bow, because I need a free hand, at least one of them. Out of battle, I pause, rest, I take some time to catch my breath, return to me my fleeting power to aim my darkest hour. Out of battle, I pause, rest, I take some time to catch my breath, return to me my fleeting power to aim my darkest hour. Out of battle, I pause, rest, I take some time to catch my breath, return to me my fleeting power to aim my darkest hour. Phase arrow charged. And that's on a moderate speed for the charge incant. It could take some people longer. So Sniper is not always taken. In fact, it's very rarely taken. One of the few times that Sniper is actually good is when you can have a bard that can restore all your per lives and you're going into skirmish areas. Now this could be when you're going into the woods and you're trying to do just a few shots here and there, only maybe 5 arrows, and you're getting the most powerful arrows. You're restored by the bard. You can shoot them all again. It's great, but that's a lot of effort to make it work, and that's a very specific scenario. Now, if you were to go to a giant battle game where it goes on for 30 minutes and there's a bunch of people, then you would have to shoot, go to that friendly bard again, or just shoot, charge, and really, most of the time you're more effective just taking those those specialty arrows, those 6 or 7 specialty arrows that you can choose, the phase and the suppression, rather than just having to charge every arrow, because you still get normal arrows when you do not take sniper. This is why most people don't take sniper, and if you do, it has to be very situational and it has to be really thought out. So that is what you get at 6th level. I know sniper is an option that you can take and that you might rarely choose to take, but it is possible. I do, however, think you'll be very happy with the phase arrow. This has been the whole Archer class. I would love to know what you think of Archer and if you'll use sniper, when you'll use sniper, and the best times that you have been able to use phase arrow. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.